Good morning, students. Today in NCC, our topic is again communication. Communication is simply the act of transferring information from one place, person, or group to another. So, it is actually transformation of knowledge or transformation of information from one person or from one group or from one place to another place through certain modes. Every communication involves at least three things. One is sender, a message, and a recipient. So this may sound simply, but communication is actually a very complex subject. The transmission of the message from sender to recipient can be affected by a huge range of things. These include our emotions, the cultural situation, the medium used to communicate, and even our location. Communication, again, in other words, we can say that communication is the act of conveying meanings from one entity to or group to another through the use of mutually understood signs, symbols, and semiotic rules. The main steps inherent to all communication are the formation of communicative motivation or reason, message composition, message encoding and decoding. So, so far military is concerned or defense services are concerned, simple language is not being used for communication purpose. Some symbols are being used, some uh, specific names are being used. So that is why mutually understood signs, symbols, and semantic rules are being used in communication. So far general public is concerned, we use language, and that kind of language which is both understood by the sender and the recipient. Message which is understood both by the sender and the recipient. So but in defense there are some specific signs, some specific symbols, and there are special rules also for communicating things. Importance of communication: we use communication every day in nearly every environment, including in the workplace. Whether you give a slight head nod in agreement or present information to a large group, communication is absolutely necessary when building relationships, sharing ideas, delegating responsibilities, managing a team, and much more. Learning and developing good communication skills can help you succeed in your career, make you a competitive job candidate, and build your network. While it takes time and practice, communication and interpersonal skills are certainly able to be both increased and refined. So, if you are having a good communication, your communication skill is at par, wherever you are, whether you are a student, whether you are in defense, whether you are in any profession, definitely this communication will definitely help you a lot. You are having a knowledge, but you are not in a position to communicate it properly in a right way. So definitely it will be a loss for you. So it's important. There are four main types of communication we use on daily basis. So far types of communication is concerned, there are four main types of communication we use daily basis. One is verbal, second is non-verbal, third is written, and fourth is visual. So these are the mainly four types of communications. Let us take a look at each of these types of communication, why they are important, and how you can improve them for success in your career. So we have to work on these four aspects, four types of communications for success in our life, for success in our career. First one, verbal communication. As I am speaking to you, this is verbal communication. Whatever is on the screen, that is written communication. So, verbal communication is the use of language to transfer information through speaking or sign language. It is one of the most common types, often used during presentations, video conferences, and phone calls, meetings, and one-on-one conversations. Verbal communication is important because it is efficient. It can be helpful to support verbal communication with both non-verbal and written communications. So, as I am doing it, there I am verbally I am teaching you, I am giving you information regarding the communication, but I'm taking the help of written also and non-verbal also through some signs. Here are few steps you can take to develop your verbal communication skills. Use a strong, confident speaking voice. So it should be the voice you are using, it should be strong and it should be confident also. Especially when presenting information to a few or a group of people, be sure to use a strong voice so that everyone can easily hear you. Be confident when speaking so that your ideas are clear and easy for others to understand. So the tune of the voice should be in such a way that it is reachable to every nook and corner of that hall or that area where you are going to speak, or everyone should be listening to you, and you should be aware about the person whom you are going to address, about his hearing power. Use active listening. The other side of using verbal communication is intently listening to and hearing others. If I am communicating here because of the this system, otherwise if I would have been a class, it was not just like that only I would be speaking. I would give you chance also that you will also speak, so that if there any doubt is there, anything is there, I can get it, so that the intention of my language, the intention of my class, it should be successful. I want to give you information regarding this communication. So while conversation, or I should be also active listening. It's not like that कि I should be also only speaking. I should give you the time to speak, so that if I will be active listener, then only you will become also active listener. Active listening skills are key when conducting a meeting, presentation, or even when participating in one-on-one conversation. Doing so will help you grow as a communicator. If you are an active listener, then only you will become a good speaker. Avoid filler words. It can be tempting, especially during a presentation, to use filler words such as like, so, or ye, while it might feel natural after completing a sentence or pausing. Next, second type is non-verbal. Non-verbal communication is the use of body language, gestures, and facial expressions to convey information to others. Showing symbols, showing signs, gestures, or body language. If you are doing something, I am happy with this, with your act, so I should show you a smiling face, so you'll get to know that whatever you are going to do or whatever you are doing, the teacher is happy with that. So it's not just like that I will speak that yeah I'm happy that you are doing it. I can show it by non-verbal communication, by showing my smiling face. It can be used both intentionally and unintentionally. For example, you might smile unintentionally when you hear a pleasing or enjoyable idea or piece of information. Non-verbal communication is helpful when trying to understand others' thoughts and feelings. So non-verbal communication is mostly useful when you are listeners. Again, when you are speaker, that time again you can use non-verbal communication also, but mostly when you are listeners, that time it's important. If they are displaying closed body language such as crossed arms or hunched shoulders, they might be feeling anxious or angry or nervous. If they are displaying open body language with both feet on the floor and arms on by their side or on the table, they are likely feeling positive and open. So these are some non-verbal signs or non-verbal communication which we have. Next is written. As you are reading on the screen, the whatever I am speaking, there is again a written form also. So I am communicating you people through two types of communication. One is verbal communication, the second is written communication. So both the communications are being used here to address you or to inform you regarding this topic. Written communication is the act of writing, typing, or printing symbols like letters and numbers to convey information. It is helpful because it provides a record of information for reference. Writing is commonly used to share information through books, pamphlets, blogs, letters, memos, and more. Emails and chats are a common form of written communication in the workplace. So, written communication is again important, and written communication, it is so, but for written communication it is important for the person that both the sender and the recipient, they should be uh, they should be in a position to read. This recipient should be in a position to read and understand the language, and the sender should be in a position to write and understand the language. Here are few steps you can take to develop your written communication skills. Strive for simplicity. When you are going to write any conversation to anybody, use simple language. Written communication should be as simple as clear as possible. Don't rely on tone. There is no need of tone when you are in a you are doing written communication. So when verbal communication is there, tune is important, but when written communication is there is no need of tone, because you don't have the nuance of verbal and non-verbal communication. Be careful when you are trying to communicate a certain tone when writing. Attempting to communicate a joke, sarcasm, so whatever there is, when you are in a written communication, there is no need of tune. Take time to review your written communications. This is the I feel that this is the important, we can say, the main benefit of written communication. When you are in a verbal communication, whatever you have spoken, you have spoken, you cannot take it back. But when you are in a written communication, whatever you are going to write, you can erase it, you can rectify it, you can change it. But on the same side, there's again one thing: whatever you are going to write, or whatever you have written on the paper, that is final. There is no need of that witness for it. Either I have said or not, I have not said. In verbal communication, you can change, you can make the slight change in it, that my intention was this, not of this. But in written, there is no intention. Take time to review written communication. So you are having time here in written communication, you can check it, you can erase it, you can change it. So that is the benefit of written communication. Setting time aside to reread your email, letters, or memos can help you identify mistakes or opportunities to say something differently, which is not in verbal communication. Then the fourth or last is visual communication. Visual communication is the act of using photographs, art, drawings, sketches, charts, and graphs to convey information. So as the artists are doing, whenever they want to communicate something to the society or the people, they use photographs, they use art, drawings, sketches, charts. As in papers, presently we are having one that cartoons are there. So that cartoon gives information what is the present situation. So with the help, that is visual communication. We are watching that cartoon, we getting the idea what the author, what the writer, what the drawing, what the sketcher, he wants to inform the people. So he's not speaking, he's not writing. So visually he wants to give us the idea what is happening in the world, or what is happening in the country or state. Visuals are often used as an aid during presentations to provide helpful context alongside written or verbal communication. Because people have different learning styles, visual communication might be more helpful for some to consume ideas and information. Here are a few steps you can take to develop your visual communication skills. Ask others before including visuals. If you are considering sharing a visual aid in your presentation or email, you can take help from others. Consider your audience. Be sure to include visuals that are easily understood by your audience. So make those visuals only the person can take. To make improvements to your communication skills, set personal goals to work through the things you want to accomplish step by step. It might be helpful to consult with trusted colleagues, managers, or mentors to identify which areas would be best to focus on first. So here the last point is about barriers. Following are the types of communication barriers that can arise in the workplace and make effective communication more challenging. The first one is physical barrier. Physical barrier includes workplace, closed offices, doors, territories within office. These are the physical barriers. Then emotional barrier is there. Emotional communication barriers are those that result from emotions such as mistrust and fear. Language barriers are barriers that refer to how a person speaks both verbally and non-verbally. So example of language barriers include using jargon, unfamiliar expressions, and abbreviations. It can also include written and verbal language to communicate. Implementing communication strategies in the workplace can help to overcome any communication barriers and increases. So whatever you are going to speak, it is important that your communication values, whether it is written communication, it is verbal communication, what, so your talent would be expressed through your communication. Your personality will groom through your communication. So communication is very important. We have to pay a lot of attention towards the communication. Thank you. वो द्रास बाज में वापस